Hello and welcome to Looking Up. We are a podcast for Christian women, and my name is Carla Moore, and I'm here with my friend Kathy Pollard, and we enjoy getting together once a week and just talking about things that interest us as Christians and fun things and serious things. And I apologize right now for the frog in my throat because I probably will cough and I sound like I've got a nice deep. Who has one of those nice deep celebrity voices? Do I sound like someone really
I
famous?
don't know.
No,
Probably an older actress.
I sound like a smoker, I think. Anyway, we are excited about our topic this afternoon or this evening, and we have just come off of Thanksgiving. Today is Saturday, so a couple of days ago was Thanksgiving, and we enjoyed having family time. Both of us did. I'm in Texas right now near Austin, and Kathy is in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And we each had lots of family. And did you have turkey?
Of
We did talk
course.
about that, didn't we? Yeah.
We
How
had
did it turn
smoked
out?
turkey. It was
Yeah.
good. I mean, I bought turkey that was already smoked. We had two big smoked turkeys. All you had to do is heat them through and they tasted really good.
Yeah. Well, we had a Greenberg smoked turkey. I think I brought that up last time, and it was
Mm-hmm.
that's always my favorite. Really peppery and smoky. And so,
Mm.
did you try any new recipes?
I make pumpkin pie every year for Dale. And I tried a new one this year because it replaced the sugar with honey.
Mm,
And instead of evaporated milk, you use fresh cream.
okay.
And so I was really excited because I used raw honey, fresh cream, farm fresh eggs,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really building that thing up too for jail. And then I tried a piece and I just was not very happy with it at all. It just
Yeah.
something about it wasn't great. So
Well, you took the
that
sugar out of
was
it.
I really do think that the honey, and I love the taste of honey, but something
Mm-hmm.
didn't work. It
Yeah.
wasn't good. So I won't do that again.
Yeah.
Don't mess with the classics, right?
Right. Yeah. I was not really excited about any of the new things that I tried. I tried a half-baked harvest mashed potato recipe. I know I brought it up before.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of you don't boil them, but you put your potatoes in the crock pot and leave them there with water in the crock pot for like 8 hours. And then, the way she described it, you drain them and then you put them back in the crock pot and then you do the other things and just let them dry out. And then you mash them. And I used a masher, not a mixer.
Mm.
And it just wasn't, it was more like a potato casserole. It did not have a mashed
Oh,
potato texture at all.
yeah.
And I was just super excited about it because it had all the, lots of butter. Well, I know I kind of messed up caramelizing the onions because it called for a whole stick of butter, but she wanted you to just use 4 tablespoons of butter to caramelize the onions, and I put the whole stick of butter in there. So I guess there
Oh,
was too much butter, which I never really thought was a possibility before, to
I
have
didn't
too
know that
much
was a
butter.
thing.
Yeah, but they didn't ever brown. They
Oh,
cooked and they
mm-hmm,
tasted good, it just mixed in with the potatoes.
mm-hmm,
But in the recipe it showed kind of a browned
right.
onion that was like a French onion soup type onion.
Yeah.
And it had really good cheese and fresh sage and fresh thyme and
Mm-hmm,
fresh garlic. And I mean, it was okay, but it just
mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like it knocked it out of the park like I was hoping for. So I just kind of feel like I've lost my touch with cooking. I think I used to be able to cook pretty well, but I don't know. There's things that I keep messing up now. It might have had something to do with having a 2-year-old in my house.
Say, you had some distractions.
Yeah, I did. We had Clara, our two, she'll be 3 in February. We went to Houston to Jordan and Aaron's last Friday, and then we brought her back with us on Monday and kept her
Mm,
until Jordan and Aaron came for Thanksgiving. And it was so much fun. I
that's
mean,
so special.
it was, and I loved
Mm-hmm.
having just her. And we're going to have just Jackson and just Emmy later on in December. And I hope
Oh,
we'll get Turner at some point and Livy
mm-hmm.
down the road. She's still too little right now, but um, she was hilarious. And we've just never, she was born when when we were in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have not spent as much time with her as we have with her brother and
Mm-hmm.
sister. And I was a little afraid she was going to cry for her mama, but she didn't until the very last night.
Mm-hmm.
And probably because I gave her whatever she wanted. And but she's
And you let
she's
her take over your bed.
yeah, yeah, I slept with her. That was I mean, not too, it wasn't bad. She
Mhm.
just, it's a king size bed and she had 2/3 of it, but that's okay. All I really need is a third. But
That picture was so cute that you
yeah,
shared.
yeah, she's so cute to watch when she's sleeping. And I think I told you already, she's not just sleeping, she's recharging her battery, ready to
That's
go
right.
again. But we had a lot of fun with her. I'll try not to do the grandparent thing and just, tell everything that she did, but she's very spunky and very sweet. And she's into, she says, she has different phrases that she says all the time. And she's got quite a vocabulary. At one point, we had her outside. We were trying to get her to come down one direction and she wanted to go the other way. And she said, "You're going the wrong direction." Thought coming out of a 2-year-old's mouth was hilarious. But there was one point where she was running to the potty. She needed to go potty and had waited a little bit too long. So she ran to our bathroom. And I had to put, oh, I need to mute my text messages. I had put some of that blue toilet bowl cleaner in the toilet bowl. And just usually I let it sit for a while.
Mhm.
But when she went in there and saw it, she just stopped in her tracks and she said, "Oh man." And all week long, she just says, "Oh man, oh man." And if she says or if we said anything that she didn't like very much, she would just go, oh, just a little grunt. But she was fun and we had fun with her. John had her outside working and throwing rocks in the wheelbarrow, and we just had fun. So I enjoyed it.
Good. But I
But
just
that might
love
have had
that.
something to do with recipes messing up. Could
Yes.
be. I didn't think
But
about
that
that.
one-on-one time with your grandchildren, I think that's a great idea and something that they'll look back on with fondness.
Yeah. She may not remember it, but we'll do it again. I mean, she might not remember this time, but I
Hmm.
know I will. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Hmm.
So what all did y'all do?
Well, we had everybody here, and this was our first Thanksgiving with babies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, wow, it just really fills out the holiday. And I felt like the best part was I felt like every time I turned around, somebody different was holding a different baby,
Yeah.
and to see my mom or Neil's parents,
Yeah.
holding them. And
The great grandparents.
yes, it was just, oh, I feel like my heart would just swell every single time,
Mm-hmm.
and you couldn't help but grin. My cheeks were hurting by the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, just
Yep.
seeing all the snapshot moments in my head of what was going on. And,
Yeah.
and I had girls helping me in the kitchen, with preparing the meal. So that was really
Mm-hmm.
special. And
Mm-hmm.
it was, I mean, we got in each other's space a little bit.
Yeah.
Our house
You
isn't
can't
that
help it.
big.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've got that
uh,
island too, where I guess
yes.
you've got people, but that's a
Yeah.
perfect serving place.
And that's what we did. We placed all the food on the island, and we had to set up
Mm-hmm.
an extra table. And we set up an extra table up against the sliding glass door for
Mm-hmm.
drinks.
Yeah.
And once we were done with the real food part, when we cleared all that away, then we spread out the desserts on the island and whipped some cream. And people could just come get whatever pie they wanted whenever they wanted after that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and we sang that
Mm-hmm.
evening. We pulled out the songbooks and sang. And again, I just looked around the room at all the faces. And one is, when a moment is special and you just want to capture it,
Yeah.
hang on to it, and wonder when it'll happen
Mm-hmm.
again or if it'll happen again,
Yeah.
just treasure it for the special moment that it is. So
Right.
it was interesting that Carl and Gary chose to go deer hunting the day before Thanksgiving on our property.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up bringing down 3 deer,
Oh,
a buck and 2 does. And
wow.
so they processed them themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so really Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even some today was them just constantly, they hung it up, they quartered it, they cleaned the meat, they marinated the meat for beef jerky, and then they had beef jerky going in the smoker outside and the dehydrator inside.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot
they
of
had
work.
it was a ton of work, and they are so good at it. It looks
Mm-hmm.
very clean, very professional, very healthy. And they had two different types going, mesquite and hickory. And so they're like, smell this one, try this one, taste this one.
Yeah.
So they did a great job. But so we had all that going on too, but they
Yeah.
did that either outside or in the basement, and would come up for air and snacks every now and then.
Air and snacks. Do
Air
you
and
like
snacks.
venison?
I do if it's not gamey. If
Yeah.
it's been properly processed, it's not gamey and it's really good. And if you do get some that's gamey, you can soak it before you cook it, and that'll get rid of some of the gaminess. But
Yeah.
I like it if it's fixed well.
Well, I guess I've had it a few times that I didn't know, I couldn't tell a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jordan has had some processed before, and he processes his own too and does a good job. But I know John has said when they were growing up they did it and didn't do it very well, and so
Mm-hmm.
it always tasted gamey. And I don't know. I have an aversion to some of that. But some of the best jerky I've ever had came from a
Mm-hmm.
deer. So
Yeah, their
that's
jerky tastes
good.
great, and it doesn't even taste like venison to me. It tastes like a steak jerky that you would get
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. They did a fabulous job with it. But
Are
one
they
time I
sharing
made
the
chili.
meat?
Yeah, they are. One time
Oh,
I
good.
made
Excuse me.
chili with ground venison,
Yeah.
and the kids were over, and Gary was like, "This is the best chili I've ever had." And I said, "I use venison instead of beef."
Yeah.
So it's
Do you
good if
mix it with
it's
sausage? A lot of people I know mix the venison with sausage.
really. I haven't done that. Mm-mm.
Yeah. I guess maybe to add a little fat because isn't venison pretty lean?
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah.
is. Mm-hmm.
Well, I would try it.
Yeah, come see us.
Okay. Sounds good.
I feel
Well,
like I say that to you every week.
oh
Come
yeah,
see us. Come
I
see us.
wish. I wish. I was looking at your pictures and wondered if those were rolls or biscuits that I saw on your island, like
Rolls.
yeast rolls.
I made
Yeah.
yeast rolls, and Ray, my mom's husband, made spoon bread.
I don't know what that is.
They did a New Mexico style, an Albuquerque version, because it had cornmeal and green chilies, and all that
That
kind of
sounds
stuff
good.
in it. It was
Yeah.
really good. So those were the two bread types that we had. And speaking of bread, I was going to tell you that one of our members, Brady Baum, I always say their name wrong,
Oh,
Bauman.
that's Holly's husband, right?
Yes,
Holly
yes.
Molinar. Yeah, they're from this area.
Yes, that's right.
Well,
Well,
she is.
he is the sourdough master. Like he
Okay.
is literally, I may have mentioned that on here before. He has literally perfected it scientifically
Hmm.
and studied this book, and like he went off and learned somewhere. I mean, he just he has figured it out like a
Yeah.
professional. And he gave us a loaf of sourdough bread. And when I saw that, I'm pretty sure I squealed. I mean, he just
Hmm.
placed that in my hands, and it was the most beautiful, perfectly round loaf of sourdough bread. And it tasted every bit as good as it looked. And I had such mixed feelings because I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I'm so impressed. And I'm going, oh, why can't I do this? Why can't
Yeah.
I? Mine just, it's okay. I can do it. I just don't have the texture and everything down. I just haven't figured, I'm still not there yet. I still have a lot of work to go, but
I just
he
never
has,
have met a bread I didn't like, so I don't know
yeah,
what.
well, that's true. That's true. But he has got it figured out.
Did he give it to you Wednesday night? Like, did you
Sun,
have to share it with everybody, or were you able to?
no, no, I think it was Sunday night.
Okay,
Sunday
so you
night he
got to
gave it
eat
to
it all
us.
by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
that's my selfish side coming out.
And I'm pretty
Well,
sure we wiped it out in 2 days.
okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, I tried another recipe, another half baked harvest. I don't know. There's just something about when I see them, they look so good. But this was a maple cookie something pie, but it didn't have chocolate in the title, but it has tons of chocolate in it. But one of the things that she said is to sprinkle coarse sugar around the top of the pie crust before you put the filling in. But all I had was red and green, like cookie sugar. So I
Right.
was like, okay, which one? Which one? And I ended up choosing red, and it looked like blood around the edge of
Oh,
the pie. It was awful. It was
no,
like another
no.
Pinterest fail for me. I mean, it tasted good, but there were so many things, so many desserts, and that always happens where I came home with 3/4 of it. So
In the last week's episode, you were talking about that Pinterest fail you did when you're trying to make the little
yeah.
turkeys.
Uh-huh. I meant to share
Well,
that this week. I'll have to put that
Russell
up.
Simpson sent us a picture a couple days ago, and Dana made the cutest little turkeys out of strawberries.
Hmm.
And it looked like, I'm guessing she used strawberries and maybe the pretzel sticks and marshmallows. I don't know what all went in it. And they were chocolate dipped and they were perfect.
Hmm.
It was not a Pinterest fail. It was just one of those things where she probably looked at a picture and that's exactly how they turned
Yeah.
out.
Well, I have the feeling that she doesn't have any Pinterest fails.
Oh, she's a great cook.
Well, it sounds
Especially,
like
it's
it.
kind of, I feel like every time we have our finger foods and singing or a potluck or anything like that, everybody always says, "What did Dana bring?" Because if she made it, it's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have those people that we
Yes,
on a potluck day, we're like watching them come in and watching what their dish looks
that's
like. So we
right.
know we go straight to their stuff.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But, and one other thing that I did make, but I think that we're a little focused on food this week, but that's okay.
Mm.
The morning after Thanksgiving, I made cinnamon rolls, but not, I just made the dough in the bread maker. Like I normally make bread dough in a bread maker and
Okay.
then just eat like yeast rolls.
Mhm.
But instead of, I rolled them up, Amy and Clara helped. So we spread the butter and the brown sugar and cinnamon stuff and rolled it up. But instead of cutting them in the little rolls, I
Mhm.
had watched another, I don't know, I think it was Instagram, but you cut it, you leave one end intact, but you cut it lengthwise down the middle,
Oh,
and
to
then you
twist
just
it.
twist it and then bake it.
Mm.
And we loved it because there was a lot more doughy area
Mm. So
when you
it
cut them
bakes
up in the rolls.
like a loaf.
Yeah, like
It
kind of like a
bakes.
braid, sort of like a braid, but
Oh,
it's
what a
not
great
braided. It's just
idea.
twisted. Yeah, it was good. I'll do
Mm.
that again. And it was easier than making the rolls
So
too.
did you
So,
put a frosting or a glaze over the top of it?
uh-huh. Well, when it
Mm.
came out of the oven, yeah. Yeah, we
Yum.
had
I'm gonna
heavy
try
cream
that.
and powdered sugar. It was pretty. I'll send you the link to the
Oh,
where I saw it. I was going to tell you too. You remember you had and one of your favorite things was a Trader Joe's candy or cookie or something,
yeah,
and
the
I
little
was over
gingerbread
in
folk.
that area. Yeah, but I can't find them. I've not seen them yet. I thought surely they would have them, but I
Mm-hmm.
did find some other things I was going to share. Um, One of them, if you're watching, you can see I haven't opened these yet, but it's called Trader Joe's and the Astounding Multi-Flavor JoJo's. They are chocolate enrobed sandwich cookies. So it's just kind of a fun box, but you can
It's a
see they
cute
have
box.
different flavors.
Oh, peanut butter,
It's
peppermint,
like,
and double chocolate.
yeah,
Yum.
I'm not going to open them until Christmas. So John doesn't know about them. I've hidden them unless he hears me talking right now because he's in there. But there's looks like three different kinds: double chocolate, and then peppermint, and then peanut butter, and oh, there's four kinds: vanilla, ginger, and they're
Oh,
all in chocolate. But then there's another thing too.
mm.
It's called Jingle Jangle, and it just
What
looks
is
like
that?
fun.
Popcorn?
It's a tin full of chocolate covered stuff. It's a fun mix of fan favorite candy treats. And I just picked one up because I thought, well, maybe it's got that ginger folk
Mm.
that you were talking about, but it's got milk and dark chocolate covered pretzels, dark chocolate covered caramel popcorn. Um, I think she said there's milk chocolate candies, dark chocolate enrobed JoJo's cookies. So I guess it's some of the same things. Milk and dark chocolate mini peanut butter cups. So anyway, I'm excited to try
Wow.
that. I'll put that out. I'll hold on to it until Christmas and
I
not.
like the tin also.
Yeah, it's just kind of a fun thing. Trader Joe's is just fun.
I know. Rub it in.
Do you don't have one in Bowling Green?
No, we have to go all the way to Nashville.
Oh, sorry.
Mm, thanks.
Oh,
I'm happy for you.
yeah. Do you have an Aldi's?
Yes.
So aren't they somehow related?
I don't know. Are they?
I've heard that Trader Joe's is like the upscale version of Aldi's, but Aldi's they both have their really unique things. I've never been in an Aldi's, but I'd like to. I'd like to see them.
You have to come
Yeah.
see us.
Okay. Come have some bread and go to Aldi's. Yeah.
That's right. It's a date.
Yeah. Well, did you have anything else you wanted to bring up before we
Mm,
go on to our topic?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, what we're going to talk about today is we've got some ideas for Christmas gifts
Mm-hmm.
because yesterday was Black Friday. So when this comes out next week, it'll be, 3
Mhm.
weeks before Christmas.
Mhm.
So we just thought we would kind of do some brainstorming on our own, and we haven't talked about this ahead of time. So I don't know
Mhm.
what's on your gift suggestions, and you don't know mine. But I had a friend that shared a little saying this week on Facebook, and I wanted to see what you thought about it. It says the most useless Christmas decoration is the mom's stocking. I said what I said. So, do you? Does your stocking get stuffed?
Yes.
So Neil stuffs it, or do your kids put things in it, or
Neil
what?
stuffs it and he does a fabulous job.
Really?
In fact, our tradition is we open up all our gifts and we save the stockings for last
Hmm.
because we do like cute little stocking stuffer things, but then we always have like some good stuff down
Yeah.
in there. So
Like,
we
what does he
always
put in your stocking?
jewelry,
Hmm.
um, lotion, cologne,
He
I
knows
mean
what you like.
perfume.
Huh.
Yeah, Burt's
Well,
Bees stuff, stuff
mhm.
like that. So
Yeah. John
yeah.
always puts Burt's Bees in mine, and he always puts Red Hots, the
Mhm.
candies, as little Red Hots. And I like them. I think that he thinks that they're my favorite candy, and they're not really my favorite candy, but I like them. And now
Yeah,
it's tradition, so he has to do it.
right.
And usually he'll put like some of that gum that we like. What's it called? Mentos gum.
Mhm.
Usually he'll put a dish scrubber, a new scrubber for the dishes. He'll put some pins in there. The
Mhm.
girls always give him suggestions. They'll listen to me throughout the year, and they'll tell him something that I might have said. But I have actually bought, in fact, I've already done this, my own stocking stuffers, and I just hand them to him and say,
Oh,
"Here, put this in my stocking."
I've never
And that
done
was
that.
something that someone commented on that post. Everybody was going, "Yep, yep."
Mhm.
I sit there with a floppy stocking while everyone else is opening their stockings, which I think is really sad.
Yeah.
Moms usually go to such trouble to
Mhm.
put thoughtful things in stockings, and yet, sometimes they don't have anything in theirs.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's never happened to me.
Mhm.
I've always got something in mind, but I do, if there's something that I see,
Mhm.
I'll get it,
Hmm.
Black Friday sale or whatever, and give it to him. And he likes that because he knows that I'm going to like it because I picked it out. But I think some people may not want to do that. So,
Yeah, I do everybody else's stocking, but Neil does mine, and I feel like that's where he puts the girly things.
yeah.
That Crabtree and Evelyn
Hmm.
stuff. Sometimes he'll have some stuff in there, and I like Anna Louisa jewelry
Hmm.
or Kendra Scott.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that'll end up in my stocking. So
Does he just pick it out on his own, or do the girls help him?
no, he just does it on his own. He always does
Okay.
a great job with the stocking.
Good job, Neil. Props to you.
Yes, good job, Neil.
Well, if he's standing at the top of the stairs listening to us right now, huh?
Yes,
Both
yeah,
of it, we're we
but
we have our husbands home tonight, so we're
yeah,
slowly getting adjusted to having them
yeah.
around when we record.
Yes, usually we record in the daytime, but we're having to record at night because we both had people all around.
Yeah.
And so my husband's in the basement watching the Georgia game,
I don't know what
or he's
John's
listening
doing.
at the top of the stairs. I'm not sure
Yeah.
which one he's doing.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure John was eating cereal because I could hear the bowls and the spoon hitting the bowl. So he's in there doing something. So traditions, what kind of Christmas traditions do y'all have?
With our kids,
Hmm.
or
Well, any of
well,
them.
the growing up tradition was we all sat in a circle, and this included our grandparents, and we would open our gifts one at a time.
Hmm.
And so everybody can ooh and ah over the gift as it's being opened, and then the person opening the gift could get up and go over and thank and hug whoever it was
Yeah.
from. And usually the big video recorder thing was on a tripod
Uh-huh.
pod, and my dad always
Uh-huh.
had Christmas brass playing in the background, and my grandpa always had the Santa hat on. And so that was, and we always got up, got dressed, had breakfast first,
Oh,
and then went into the living room.
anticipation.
Yes. And so Christmas was like this long drawn out thing, and that we kind of adopted all of that. Neil's Christmas was completely different. Theirs was everybody gets up in the morning, goes downstairs, opens everything up at the same time, and it's all over in 5 minutes.
Hmm.
And so I'm glad that there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. That's how we did it growing up too.
Let me just say that. But I'm glad that with our own boys,
Yeah.
he let me do it the way we did it growing up. So we did the same thing. We would have breakfast and we didn't dress up or anything, but we'd all open our gifts one at a time. And it just takes forever,
Yeah.
to open up all the gifts. But I love that. So,
Yeah. We, growing up, just everyone ripped into them. And I didn't ever think anything of it. I just assumed everybody did it that way. And I kind of liked it because you don't have to put on a face, you can just open your gift but, people are watching and now that I'm an adult, I put a lot of thought and time into a gift and I want to see somebody open it. And I'm not looking for, oh, it's the best thing I've ever had. I'm not looking for that, but I'm almost always sure that they're going to like what it is that I pick out for them. And so I just like to see happiness.
You're a good gift giver. This is true.
Well, thank you. But so John, they did the one by one growing up, always from the youngest to the oldest. And he wanted to do that with our family. And I was really reluctant at first because it was just not the way I did it. And I didn't want people looking at me opening gifts. But I found that it was just more meaningful and it slowed things down. And, it wasn't just, like you said, over in 5 minutes. Everyone was able to see what everyone else got. And so we've continued to do that. And now there is 2, 4, 6, 8, 13 of us. No, 14 now with Darcy. So it will take a long time. And we don't have breakfast first. I always make a breakfast pizza. And I make it the night before. So I just pop it in the oven as soon as we get up. And John always builds a fire, no matter how hot it is outside, because Aaron likes fires. And I mean, I do too. I like for that cozy, smoky, you don't want it too smoky, but just the Christmassy feeling. And I'll turn on the TV with Pandora or whatever with Christmas music. And usually the kids are bouncing around, the grandkids. They're just excited about opening presents. And so we'll have breakfast pizza and everybody just goes and gets what they want when they want it. And usually we have to take a break halfway through. But I have bought, those boxes that you can get like at Home Goods or Michael's or somewhere like that they're Christmas decorated, but they have a magnetic flap that opens up.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got one. That's our stocking. I mean, I have stockings. I made all of our stockings, which is my favorite Christmas decoration that I have because I started with the 5 of us. And then as each of the girls came along, I made one for them. And now for each of the grandkids, I've got to make one for Darcy now. But they're not very wide. They're kind of narrow. So if I like to do stockings more than anything else. Usually we'll have a couple of presents for everybody, but stocking gifts are my favorite. So I've got a box for everyone. And I put the stocking things in there and I'll wrap them in tissue paper. I like to wrap everything. It's just fun to unwrap. So it's time consuming, but it's fun too.
Yeah.
That's kind of our tradition.
Yeah. I love that. That's great.
Yeah. Do you have a certain thing that you make for y'all to eat every year?
Well, breakfast is always breakfast casserole and then cinnamon rolls with maple frosting. And for dinner, we always do ham. We do turkey at Thanksgiving and ham for Christmas. And it's usually simple. It's usually ham, mashed potatoes, green beans, yeast rolls.
Yeah.
Dessert's always different. It's whatever I feel like it. Deep dark chocolate cake, or last year I made panna cotta.
Oh, that sounds good.
Just whatever. And then our Christmas Eve dinner is always different too. Sometimes we do beef tenderloin. We feel like splurging.
Is that an oven thing or a grill thing?
I do it in the oven.
That.
I do it in the oven with olive oil and lemon pepper. And
that sounds good.
It's very good.
Is everybody going to be there this year?
Not on Christmas. So we're with all the kids. We're going to celebrate it early, Friday and Saturday, the Friday and Saturday before Christmas, because I think all the girls have Christmas with their families this year. So so we'll have them all early, and then
I think that's what we're doing. They're coming like Thursday, Friday, Saturday before Christmas, and I don't care when we do it as long as we're
Mm-hmm.
get to have them together.
Yeah, that's how I feel. But Neil's kind of a on the day kind of a person. He's like,
Yeah.
thinks it's really sad if it's not on Christmas morning, you know.
Well, tell him he's just welcome to give you a gift on Christmas morning as well.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, it's just fun. Gift giving is fun. And I was thinking about how love languages kind of play into gift giving because I've heard it said that the best gift is something that you would like to receive. But I can see how that would sort of be true. But like John would love to get a flashlight, and I'm not really into flashlights. So so I don't think that's always true. But when you think about the five love languages, there's of course there's receiving gifts, but then there's acts of service, and then there's quality time and physical touch. And what's the other one? I can't remember
Words
the
of
other one.
affirmation.
Words of affirmation. So, if you know someone, if you know your kids, know your spouse, what it is that they, what kind of love language they have, I think you can capitalize on that when you're giving gifts. And if their love language is acts of service, you could make them a coupon book with, this week I'll do this for you or whatever, something like that. Or quality time, you can make it a date night and time away, or a little mini vacation, a weekend away, or something like that. Physical touch, I'm sure we could come up with something, but maybe we shouldn't talk about that on the podcast. But anyway, just I was thinking about how I'd never really thought about that before, but when you're giving gifts, it's just good to listen to people and to throughout the year to know them. Obviously, it helps to know them. What do they like to do? What kind of hobbies do they have? What kind of collections do they have? Do they like to travel? Do they like to read? If they do like to read, do they like physical books, or do they like Kindle books, or Apple books, whatever? Would they rather have a gift card, or would they rather have an actual gift to unwrap that they can return to the store if they, just knowing a person, I think is helpful. Knowing what kind of color scheme they have in their house. Like you like gold jewelry, so things like that. Notice things about people. So those were just things that I was kind of thinking that we would talk about, and maybe have some gift ideas for people, because I'm always looking for gift ideas. And so what do you remember any special Christmas gift as a kid that you got?
I got the Holly Hobby Easy Bake Oven when I was in third grade, and that
Yeah.
was my most favorite gift ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then one year, maybe a couple years later, I don't remember exactly which year it was, but we were still young. We had a really lean Christmas, which I don't remember. I don't remember that part. But I do remember that about a week after Christmas, excuse me, we had a second Christmas.
Oh.
And my sister and I just got up, and there were all these presents around the tree, including these great big boxes, which had bicycles, 10-speed bikes in them.
Wow.
And when we were like, what is this all about? And the explanation was something about Santa had to come a week later, and as I got older, I realized they felt like on Christmas Day, they were really financially tight, and that it was just too lean, or, and so they ended up, when they got some more money, they did a second Christmas.
Oh, fun.
So I remember the surprise of that, but I don't remember a lean Christmas. I feel like we probably had a lot of lean years when I was growing up, but I didn't really know that when I was growing up. They were just really good about making everything special. But I just remember the year we had a second Christmas.
That does sound like fun.
How about you?
I remember we would go to Fort Worth because both of my grandmothers lived there, and we would always be with my Meemaw, which was Dad's mom, on Christmas Eve, and we'd spend the night there. And I remember a lot of Christmas Eves, how you can't sleep because you're so excited about opening gifts the next day, or Santa Claus coming, whatever. And but I can still hear the creaky floorboards, running in there. They would leave the lights on in the tree, and we would sleep often in the den, which was, you'd have to go through the kitchen to go see the living room. And just knowing that those lights were glowing, it was just just good memories. But then we would go to, we'd have Christmas morning at me, Mom, Boom Paws, and then go to mom's, my grandma called her on Christmas Day. And she lived in an apartment. And it was just so fun to go to an apartment, to climb stairs, and, we'd all crowd in there, just things like that. I remember. I don't remember gifts as much. I do remember when I was a teenager, Mom and Dad gave me a stereo, which was shocking to me because, we didn't get big gifts. We had, we always had, like you said, I don't remember anything lean or, but Dad, we're a ministry family, so you just don't typically have lots of money to spend. But I remember being super excited about that stereo. That was back in the 8-track days. No, not 8-track. It was cassette. I'm not that old. I remember 8-tracks, but cassettes, because I could record the radio onto a cassette. And so we would listen for songs coming up, the top 40. I'm dating myself here. But anyway, the stereo was fun. But Christmas memories, I think sometimes we hear people complain about it becoming too commercialized. And I get that. I think all the Black Friday sales and buy this and buy that. And, and I didn't want this to be about just getting gifts, but just the memories that are associated and the joy of giving gifts, because that's biblical. Giving is one of the ways that we're supposed to be, that God wants us to be. And I just enjoy it. I love planning. It's a lot of work and it's stressful. And I wish it weren't so stressful. And I don't know, online stuff has made that a little bit easier, but I enjoy gift giving. I think that's so much fun.
Well, and I think it's encouraging to remember too that even if you don't have a lot of money and you can't keep up with the Joneses with whatever gifts you're giving your kids, maybe that's a good thing. But like you were saying, that's not what you remember anyway. You remember the traditions, you remember the special memories and being together and the things that you did year after year that could be counted on, the things that you look forward to.
Right.
And it was fun to open presents, but it's not like you look back and go, well, one year I got this.
Right.
You just don't do that. You remember the traditions, and that's what made it special.
Being around the table together and lots of fun things. So we just thought we would have a gift suggestion episode. So did you organize yours in any certain way or?
Sort of.
Excuse me.
Sort of.
So you go first. What's your first gift suggestion?
Well, my first one is my only real product type thing, and that is something that we just recently got ourselves and love, and it's a 4-in-1 electric milk frother. So I say we, Neil, because he makes our coffee in the morning, but we've been pouring the milk in a jar and microwaving it and then shaking it, to get it all frothy, and then pouring that on top of our coffee in the morning. And we've had the handheld frothers.
Yeah.
And we've also had
vibrating.
Yeah, but it's not very strong. And then we have an espresso machine, but we really just most of the time just make regular coffee. So I finally ordered this. It's the word looks like Chef Favor with one F. Chef Favor. I don't know how to pronounce it, but CHEFAVOR. 4-in-1 electric milk frother and steamer. And it's really neat because it's got this little glass carafe that sits on a black base. It plugs in and you pour in your milk, and it heats it and froths it for you. And then all you gotta do is just pour it into your cup. But it also, you have the option of, do you really want a dense creamy foam, or do you want a light frothy foam? And then you can also just pour milk in there and have it warm your milk for hot chocolate or steamers or things like that. And then the fourth option is cold foam.
Okay.
So you know how some Starbucks drinks are served with cold, you can do that with it too. So it was inexpensive. I found it on Amazon. It works great. We love it. So I thought that would be a great Christmas gift for somebody who enjoys coffee.
And you could add sweetener in there for like what I like. Yeah. Sweet vanilla cold foam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even some maple or pumpkin pie spice, or
Yeah, good
vanilla
idea.
bean.
Well, I was gonna um show something that Erin made, and I know I had talked about it. I don't know if you're not watching, you can't see it, but I'll share the picture again. This is the pillow that Erin made for me last year that has all
Cute.
of the handprints. It's got Jackson and Emmy and Clara and Turner and well, it doesn't have Darcy on it yet, and Livy's the little one, but just
That's
this is
cute.
something that
Mm-hmm.
I love. This goes back and forth with me to Denver, but because it's got, the date on it. It's got the little babies that we've lost, miscarriages on here, their little hearts,
Oh.
leaves on here. But,
Oh.
it's just so meaningful because she made it for me,
Mm-hmm.
but because it's got the little handprints of grandbabies that I'll remember from 2022. So handmade things, not
Mm-hmm.
everybody is going to be
Mm-hmm.
able to make things by hand. I can't embroider. I don't know how to do that. And she did that. But handmade things don't have to be expensive, but there's all kinds of ideas on Pinterest. You can just type something in and type something or search for handmade Christmas gift idea or something like that. And so make things. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
something that's fun to do. So that would be my first suggestion.
Yeah, I had a section that I just called homemade items. And the first thing I put on there was dog treats
Hmm?
for people that have dogs or love their dogs. And, a lot of people, their dogs are like their children,
Yeah.
and I admit we're kind of that way with Ollie now. But I think when you give somebody a gift that's for their dog, it melts their heart. And I
Yeah.
remember one year you gave me I think it was a Rockies outfit for Oliver
Mm-hmm.
that you found, and I was like, I can't believe you did that. It just melted my heart. And I made homemade dog treats one year for the friends of ours that I had dogs,
What a
and
great idea.
yeah, and some of their homemade items are things like barbecue sauce, make your
Mm-hmm.
own special blend of barbecue sauce, flavored butters, apple butter. Emily just made some apple butter, and I shared it this week, and it is almost all gone already. It
Mm.
was so good. She made it in the crock pot. And then homemade ice cream. So, because you can get the little ice cream containers, you can make different homemade ice cream flavors and label them, and that would be fun. Christmas
That's a
gifts as
great
well.
idea.
So those were
John would love that.
those are the homemade items I came up with.
Yeah. I many years would give our elders homemade salsa. And
Mm.
it's easy to make and it's not very expensive, and you
Mm-hmm.
can put them in a mason jar and kind of decorate the mason jar in a fun way. But I was thinking, I have a friend here at the Dripping Springs congregation. Her name's Carol Nelson, and she always does hand baked things, hand baked, homemade, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She always would do lemon poppy seed cake for years and
Mm-hmm.
years. And she would put it, she'd bake it in a decorative little tin. But sometimes she would put it on, there's a little, it's not here anymore, but a pottery place. And the little soap dish that was probably not very expensive, she would give it wrapped, put the cake on the soap dish. So it was a gift that was so sweet of homemade cake and the little, the pottery that's the local vendor would
Cute
make.
idea.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But she always has the neatest little gifts. Last year she had mason jars that she decorated so cute that just had bay leaves in them.
Hmm.
And it just looked so Christmassy, and you use those for soups and things like that.
I love bay leaves.
Yeah. But you can also, like if you're doing salsa or
Mm-hmm.
apple butter, something like that, you can go to Goodwill or somewhere like that and find an interesting container to put it in, not
Mm-hmm.
just a mason jar. I'm seeing all your mason jars behind you,
Yeah.
but go and find something that's unique that you can gift it in.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that Carol would do, and my John's cousin Carolyn Gully also is really talented with this, is different ways of wrapping. They would get decorative paper bags that have Christmas wrapping type decorations on it. And then you just put your item inside, but you fold the top over and punch a hole, two holes, like with your hole punch, and then and just tie a decorative ribbon through it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's nothing,
Yeah.
It's not hard at all. You don't even have to be crafty to do it, but it's just a different, cute way of doing it.
Little special touches.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
TJ Maxx is such a neat place to find beautiful containers and dishes, and
Yeah.
they have some. I was just in there the other day, and they have these new dishes in there that caught my eye because they were so pretty, and they were made in Turkey,
Mm.
and they're
Turkey. Yeah.
beautiful. But I thought, yeah, it would be neat to just grab a few plates and put your homemade cookies or goodies or whatever you make on that, and wrap it up, and then they get the goodies and the beautiful plates.
Yeah. And it's usually not very expensive at
Mm-hmm.
TJ Maxx. Home
Yeah.
Goods is another good place for things like that. I think it's the same
Yes.
company that owns that. I can
Mm-hmm.
always find gifts for my girls at Home Goods. Um, there, there was a couple of other thoughtful things that my kids had given me. One of them, Alyssa and Jacob, several years ago, they gave me a framed saying. And the saying said, I can't remember the exact words, but it was along the lines of, it's great to look back at your life and see how the Lord has walked with you.
Mm.
And I thought, oh, that's just a really neat thing. It was such an encouraging little saying that was hand drawn on there. And she said, well, you said that on Facebook. And so she took something that I had posted and had it. She asked her friend who had an Etsy store to put it, frame it and decorate it. And I was going to bring it in here and I forgot. But anyway, there's lots of little neat things like that you can do on Etsy. And then Micah and Courtney had, I know you've probably seen them, an engraved cutting board with my mom's banana pudding recipe in her handwriting had been engraved on it. Yeah, so things like that are always really neat.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, because they're thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
So what
gifts
other
with
ideas?
sentiment are the best gifts.
Yeah, because you know that they've thought about you and something that they think that you'll enjoy.
Yeah, I saw this thread on a homesteading group that I follow that somebody was talking about. They were kind of griping about how they make homemade things, they make homemade soap and homemade jam and blah blah blah. And they said they feel like so many of their friends don't really appreciate it. So, but they don't really have a lot of money, and that's what they do have. So what do? Well, the response was so interesting because most of the people were saying, well, if they don't appreciate it, forget it, And then a few people chimed in and said, gift giving isn't about you. It's about the person you're giving the gift for. So if they're not really interested in that kind of stuff, why would you try and give it to them anyway?
Yeah.
Just because you love and appreciate it doesn't mean they do.
Right.
And there are other ways to spend as little money, but doing something thoughtful that they actually do love and appreciate. That's what gift giving is all about. So it was kind of nice to see the voice of reason pop up in there and just say, just remember, don't get your feathers ruffled because the gift is supposed to be something that the one you're giving it to actually likes. So it's about them, not you.
Yeah. Some people are hard to buy for. There's some people that are going to go, they'll go buy for themselves whatever they want. And so it makes it kind of hard to find things for them. And one of my gift suggestions, this is something my brother is kind of like that. If there's something that he's interested in, he's usually going to go find the specific item that he wants. And that's fine. But one year, I think I surprised him with something that he didn't really know that he wanted, but he ended up enjoying it, was one of those 23andMe, the genetic testing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I thought he liked it. And I liked it too, because I found out, we have the same genetics. So I can't remember what he found out about where we're from, but somewhere over in Europe. But it tells you a lot of things about where your heritage is and where you're from. So that was something
I got that for Neil
down.
Either last Christmas or the Christmas before. I can't remember. It was very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't ever actually see the report that he got back, but he told me about it, and I thought it was kind of neat.
We have a relative that doesn't have any hobbies or pastime really, or so it makes it very hard to shop for somebody like that.
Yeah. So what do you do?
Yes, exactly. So,
no.
Anyway,
what do you do? You're supposed to say, what do you do?
Well, they end up being just practical gifts. I don't want to give away too much because then I'll give away who it is, and I'm trying to avoid that. But it's hard. I'll say that.
Okay.
Okay. So my next suggestion is for people who love to cook and enjoy cookbooks. Give somebody a beautiful cookbook, but also include one of the recipes in the book that you've made for them.
What a great idea.
Yeah. And then you could say the recipe's on page, whatever. You know, and
I love that.
Thanks.
I'm going to have to remember that. Write that one down. Well, one of mine is excuse me, not self-serving, but give somebody.
That's on my list, Carla. You should let me say it.
Yeah. So you could get them a copy of the book from TCI Graphics whenever that comes out. It's supposed to be next week. I was hoping to already have it out.
Man, but the cover looks so good.
Yeah, I love it. But give them some Prismacolors to go with it, and maybe a couple of pens, Micron or whatever.
And just make my list.
Yeah, make a neat little Bible study gift bag for them. I thought that would be something fun. I've done that. I mean, that's how it started off for me. It was my gift to my mom several years ago. So scripture writing, that's an idea.
Yeah, I had that. I put give them a gift of spiritual investment. Bible marking pens and pencils, the scripture writing book, and then that stand-up pencil pouch. Have you seen those? Or a subscription to a periodical or a newsletter.
That's a good idea. There's lots of good women's studies. Did you get your copy of Janie Cron's book? Yeah, that's out now.
Have you looked inside that book?
Yeah, it's in color.
Yes.
It's really nice.
It's beautiful. Color on the inside. You don't see that very often. It's really pretty.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, they did a good job.
But yeah, there's several different women's studies that would be a good idea for a gift. Have you heard of it's called, there's several different kinds, but this one, the one that I looked up, is called Storyworth, and it's for grandparents. You like you give it to, like we would have given it to our parents. Jordan and Aaron gave John a book last year that's it's kind of a grandparent story, but this Storyworth it's an online thing. And every month it sends the recipient a kind of a prompt about a memory from childhood, or this is how grandpa and grandma met, or, just different things like that. And so they can either write it down or they can type it in and send it back to Storyworth. And there's several different things like that throughout the year. But you can add pictures. And then at the end of the year, they bind it and send it back to you so that you can share your story with your grandchildren. Yeah, I thought it was just the neatest idea. I haven't actually seen one, but I thought that was a really neat thing.
And I love those things that you can just keep forever.
Yeah.
They just get more valuable with time.
And that's something that you would look at over and over again, I think. Even giving it to your grandchildren, they might think it's neat right now, but 15, 20 years down the road, when they're older and can appreciate it more, that I think that's just something that would be a really neat gift. Yeah.
Well, I didn't have this down, but it kind of made me think of, I always love subscriptions, like different,
like your book.
Yeah, not necessarily, like the literary box or whatever, but I did one for Neil that's history letters that comes once a month, and it's some person or character, an interesting event in history, but it's like copies of the original letters and stuff like that, and it comes and it looks kind of antiqued, and it's addressed to Neil, and and all that kind of stuff. So that was one that I got. I've done coffee subscriptions for him before, where they come from different parts of the world. And you can choose, do they like dark roast or medium roast or light roast,
Yeah.
And then for myself, I'm almost embarrassed to admit this on here, but
I know what you're going to say.
What?
I'll let you tell.
No, you say.
Your little pouches from.
Yes.
I can't remember what it's called, though.
Ipsy,
yeah.
Yes, they're so fun. And I love makeup. I just do. I don't I don't spend a lot of money on makeup and I don't wear expensive makeup, but I love trying out new things. And those little Ipsy pouches are so inexpensive,
Mm-hmm.
but they are filled with great products.
Yeah.
And they are just about always organic, and there's just about always, it's like when I started, it was $10 a month. I think it's up to $12 a month now.
Mm-hmm.
But they come in really nice pouches. They're different every single month,
Uh-huh.
like fabric or velvet or whatever, and they're really pretty. And then they're filled with all these different, they're supposed to be sample size makeup
Mm-hmm.
products from different companies and stuff, but they just about always include at least one full size product.
Yeah.
So I haven't bought mascara or eyeliner in I don't know how long.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, you fill out a little survey ahead of time with all of your information about yourself, hair color, eye color, warm or cool, what things do you like? Do you like mascara? Do you like nail polish? Do you like cologne? Do you like lotion? You can fill all that out ahead of time so they can kind of cater it to what you like. But every now and then I think, because I've probably been enjoying this for about 3 years already. And every now and think, I wish I probably canceled this subscription because I don't need this. And then every time it comes, I'm like, oh, but I have so much fun.
Yeah.
It comes in the
I
mail.
love getting mail.
I know, I love pulling it out and looking at
Mm-hmm.
each little item. And they always give you a little card in there that tells you about the items and how to use them and tips and suggestions. And so if you have a girl or a friend in your life that enjoys that kind of stuff, or a daughter or a granddaughter,
Yeah.
that'd be a fun
That is a
gift.
great idea. So we'll put links next week because
Yeah.
I think John would like that history letters thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple of suggestions for books for kids because these were just ones that I came across recently. One is called The Wonky Donkey. Have you ever read that book?
Is that the video that's so hilarious?
Yes. Yes. I'll have to post a link to
I've
that
seen
because
the video.
yeah,
Yeah.
someone with a very British accent. And so when I read it now to the grandkids, I read it with a British accent.
I need that book.
It is hilarious. It's just so cute. So it's called The Wonky Donkey. I didn't write down the name of the author. And then there's another one that I came across just this week. It was a library book that Emmy had, and I read it to her at her house last weekend. And then I've ordered it for all of the grandkids. It's called Do Unto Otters. So it's a really, really cute book. It's talking about doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, but it's do unto otters. So there's neighbors. These new neighbors are moving in and they're otters. And so I think they're little squirrels or something. They're like, otters? We're having otters next door? And so the whole book is just the cutest little pictures, and it talks about being kind and being patient and being compassionate. And so Do Unto Otters and The Wonky Donkey. Those would be great book ideas for
Yes.
kids.
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
definitely
fun.
writing that down. Good one.
I read Wonky Donkey to Clara all week this week, and she just giggled the whole time. She loved it. So yeah,
Yay.
your turn.
So exciting. This will be our first Christmas with grandbabies.
Yeah, it's fun.
So I thought about maybe some events instead of gifts. Let an event be your gift. My sister is really, really good about that. In fact, it showed up in my memories. I can't remember if it was this morning or yesterday. They took us for our Christmas gifts. They took us to a Mannheim Steamroller concert one year.
Yeah.
And she's also taken me to like a pottery painting class or a workshop. No, what am I trying to say? Like where you go and
painting with the
you
twist.
Choose your piece and you put the glaze
yeah.
on it and they fire it up for you and all that kind of thing. We've done that together. But taking somebody to a local concert or a coffee shop or even delivering a whole homemade meal to somebody one evening, and let that be your gift. So I was just trying to think of some things that were more event memories.
Yeah.
That maybe you could do as a gift for somebody.
Yeah, that would be for people who love quality time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have written down any kind of photo gift from Walgreens. And, we have a history with those Walgreens posters that we do. But they have all kinds of gifts that you can do with pictures. And I just love pictures. And I have them all over the house. And every year for Christmas, we usually at Thanksgiving, but if not everyone's here at Thanksgiving, we'll do it at Christmas. we do a selfie, and it's getting harder because there's more of us now.
Yeah.
But I have them going back to like 2016. We just cram in and take a selfie. And then I put it on a magnet. It's like a 4x6 magnet that it's framed, that you can get for like $3.99 at Walgreens.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do it at Thanksgiving, I'll put it in their stocking. But if we do it at Christmas, I'll send it to them later. But you can do like for older, like for grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
I did one of these for John's mom once she was kind of homebound. I went on Facebook with all of her grandchildren and got all of their profile pictures. So it's pictures that I knew that they liked of themselves, because
Mm-hmm.
you don't put a profile picture that you don't like of yourself.
Yeah. Good
And
tip. Good tip there. You should repeat that.
well, if you're gonna share a photo of someone, pick their profile picture because you know that they like it of themselves. But you can make a photo collage. It's like the same size board of what we did for the Looking Up group at PTP, but you can put like 60 photos on that. And if they don't see as well, you wouldn't want them to be that small. You could put fewer photos and make them larger, but then if you can, have all of the grandkids sign it. It's just, but Janice would spend a lot of time looking at that. She would hold it and just look at each of the photos. So you can do a photo collage. I'm going to do this. If my kids listen to this won't be a surprise, but for my grandkids, I'm going to make each of them a little photo book of pictures of us with them. And I've seen this before. It's not originally with me, but it's like a quiet book that they can look at during worship, have pictures of, you don't want them to forget you. So I'll make them each a little quiet book, or just a book that has pictures of us together. But you can do calendars, cards. You can make a puzzle with a picture with Walgreens, and they're always having sales. So if you do always Google, or if you log on to the Walgreens photo website, it'll always have a coupon. They just don't buy anything full price because they always have coupons. So I would just say use the Walgreens photo. And I don't know if CVS has that or not. And there's places like Snapfish, and trying to think of other photo websites. They're everywhere. So you could do it. It doesn't have to be Walgreens.
You gave me one of those photo collages for my birthday one year, and it sits on my desk in the library.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those
pictures
things.
of you and me, or the four of us at different places we've been together.
I guess it's one of those things that I like to receive, so I tend to give something like that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
All right.
So my next one is support people you know. So you're killing two birds with one stone. So maybe you know somebody who paints those watercolor homes, that you can give somebody that for a picture of their home and have it painted. Or handmade jewelry, if you know people who make jewelry, or people that do baked goods. You could have it delivered to somebody's house on Christmas morning, or things like that. I was just trying to think of if you know people that do things, then it's like giving two gifts, because you're buying a gift for somebody, but also supporting somebody and showing your support. So.
Yeah, good idea. Well, along those lines, sort of a shameless plug. Our son Jordan has he has a photography website, jmoreoutdoor.com, but he does beautiful landscapes. He's got a whole section of national parks. He's got some Texas. He has Tennessee. They've gone everywhere, but mostly national parks he loves to do. And he really is good. I know he's my son, but they are beautiful. The canvas that we have above our couch is of the Grand Canyon with snow all over it. And it's hard for me to, excuse me, it's hard for me to pick any favorite because they're just beautiful. And he gets up early and goes and catches sunrises or sunsets. He's very talented. So he does a calendar every year, and I'll put a link to that. Although I don't know, he may have finished taking orders for those, but he's got a website and he's got an Etsy shop. So he's got some really beautiful things, and I'll link it next week.
His photography is stunning.
Yeah, I think so too.
Breathtaking scenes. Yeah, it's the kind of photography I like. It's beautiful.
Yeah, he doesn't do people. He doesn't like to do people.
Yeah,
but yeah, nature he does. Okay, you have more?
Well, I only have one more, but it's kind of a cheaty thing. It's not really a gift.
Okay.
My Christmas gift idea, the gift of time,
Yeah.
just face to face time with people that you love. And I feel like we tell our kids this every year. We don't want anything for Christmas. We just appreciate the time you give us. You coming into our home and sharing this holiday with us is huge.
Yeah.
And we know they're busy. We know they've got other family. We know they've got lives. And any time that they have, face to face, sharing a meal together, sharing time together, holding their babies, just laughing, playing games, that's the gift for me. It's just such a huge gift. And I think about so many people that we could probably do better at giving that gift to outside of our immediate families also, shut-ins, widows, especially fresh widows, I don't know how to word that, but the newly divorced, just so many people that the holidays can be so hard for. And just, take somebody out for a cup of coffee, or go take them some muffins and just sit with them in the living room and chat over a cup of coffee, just the gift of time, getting in people's lives, letting them know you care, and get your faces together.
Yeah.
You can't put a price tag on that.
Right. There's a family here, Randy and Jamie Banks, and they're just the sweetest people. But she posted on Facebook last week, if you don't have anywhere to go for Thanksgiving, come on over to my mom's. And I've seen her do that before, just opening their home to anybody that doesn't have somewhere to go. And that is a gift of time and family and love and hospitality. There's just a lot of different gifts wrapped up in that. And I was just thinking, actually today, I haven't mentioned this to John, but since the kids are not going to be here on Christmas, we could do that on Christmas Day for people that don't have somewhere to go. Because why not? We open our home for people like that.
Yeah.
I have several others that I jotted down. One of them is to have someone's Bible rebound. And Paul Sane does that. I double checked with him this week to make sure that he still does that.
Yeah, I asked you about if Karen still did that at Bear Valley, because I've had 2 people at Lehman Avenue ask me about it, if I knew of anybody who did it.
Did I answer you about Karen? I can't remember if she's still doing that. I don't think she is. Okay. But Paul Sane does, and I know there's other places that do it, but Paul did one of mine several years ago and did a really, really good job. Okay. And there's different options for the kind of leather and stuff. So if someone's Bible is falling apart, have it rebound for them. Also with a Bible, buy them a new Bible, buy someone a new Bible, and then everyone in your family go through and highlight your favorite passage and sign it and, say why it is that you love it. That's something that people do at weddings, which I think is a really neat gift. Kind of like their guest book. That's their guest book.
Yeah. Dale and Janelle did that.
Oh, that's neat. That's a family heirloom. Do they carry it around and use it, or is it something they keep at home? Yeah. I was thinking about the ruffled mango. We've talked about them before, but they have all kinds of neat scripture writing plans. They have
really
cards.
Really pretty.
Yeah. And they have an Etsy shop. So we'll link that next week. I was just looking through what all they have. They have encouragement cards, and I think they have like some thank you cards and just different things that are really pretty. So like you were talking a minute ago, supporting small businesses. Then I was thinking about gift bags or totes that you can fill with whatever they enjoy doing. Like if somebody likes manicures, you could get them a nail file and new nail polish and clippers or whatever, things that go along with manicures and pedicures. And similar to what you said, a cookbook, you could fill a tote with a cookbook and a kitchen tool. If they like to bake breads, you could put some biscuit cutters in there. Or if they like pizza, then you could put a pizza peel or a pizza cutter. They have different kinds of interesting pizza cutters now, or appetizers. There's just, you can make a theme out of it. Or someone like you that likes games, put a new game in there and a card shuffler, or something like somebody likes sewing. put some fat quarters or a new pair of scissors, because seamstresses always love a new pair of scissors, or just there's all kinds of sewing tools out there that would be fun to receive. Something that I did this several years ago for the kids, and I want to say it was before we had any grandkids, but I'd put some index cards together with one of those, I can't think what they're called, but it's like a keychain loop sort of.
The little metal ring.
Yeah. And things that I love about you, and just make a list of this is what I love about you, and I did like 50 cards. And who doesn't like to know what you love about them? It's just a personal touch. So that would cost basically nothing, but I think that would be something that people would treasure. I asked John what kind of gift did he like, and he really liked the Snackle box that I did for him on Father's Day. And now he's using it. It was not a tackle box; it was a toolbox, and he's using it in his shop. So that's something that we could do for men who, men like snacks. I asked Courtney for an idea, and she suggested this is something that she's beginning to collect for Livy. They're called, I don't know how to say it. It's MAILEG, Mailed mice, but they're really cute. I've seen them before. Just little mice. She's going to have Micah build Livy a dollhouse, and then she's going to decorate it with like wallpaper samples and stuff, and have the mice for her to play with. But I'm sure that's something that's kind of new for new moms, kids. And then one other thing that I thought of, and you'll laugh at this, but for those of us who balk at trends, but yet we still like them, buy someone a Stanley Cup. I use mine all the time. And I think most people like Stanley Cups. I like my drinks to be cold or hot, and but I didn't want to buy one. It was just very expensive, and I just thought that's just trendy, and I didn't want to do that. But one of them I found at Goodwill, and the other one I got for like $3 because I had a coupon. So I think there's probably a lot of people out there that wouldn't mind having a Stanley Cup. So good ideas. I mean, we could probably come up with lots of other things if we had more time, but it's just a few ideas that we had for gift giving.
Yeah, I know I have at least a couple of daughters-in-law who listen to this, so now I don't feel like I can use any of these.
Why not?
Well, because they'll know I got the idea from you.
That's okay.
They're like, please get it anyway. Do it.
Yeah. What I was going to ask you this. Is there a new game that you think families would enjoy that you have recently seen or played or whatever? Because you're kind of the game queen.
Not since I've shared a couple on here that I've gotten recently, and I haven't gotten any new ones since then. So
I ordered one kind of what's the word when you just do something off the top of your head? Because I was in Amazon, and it's called Dutch Blitz. Have you ever seen
that? But I've seen it, but I've never played it.
Is
that the one that has like quilt patterns or squares or something?
I haven't even opened it up yet. It was like $6, but it had like 30,000 5-star reviews. So I thought it has to be fun. It's I don't even know what the object of the game is, but we like to play games, and it says fast-paced fun for everyone. So John won't like it because he doesn't like fast-paced games. But we always have fun watching him try to play a fast-paced game. Yeah, that's entertainment.
Oh yeah. Well, you'll have to let us know what it's like.
Yeah. Well, good discussion, and maybe we can have a thread next week on the group of other gift suggestions for people, because I'm always looking for good ideas.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to hear Christmas traditions too, because you started out the conversation asking about that, and I bet we can hear some interesting Christmas traditions.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Well, I completely forgot about something good for you. Do you have something?
Oh, I do, and I haven't actually tried it yet, but I keep seeing it everywhere. So I'm gonna try it this week. Have you seen the butter candle?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to try that. So for those of you who may not have heard of it, it's really trendy right now. But you melt butter and you pour it into some kind of container. It can be like one of those little paper cups, like bathroom drink cups or whatever. And um, but you pour it in there with a wick so that it hardens around the wick. And then you can stick it in a loaf of French bread, like just cut out a little cavity. You could cut out 2 cavities in the loaf of French bread and put 2 butter candles in it. And then you light them and the heat
It
melts
melts.
the butter. And you could do flavored butters. You could put herbs in there, and just come up with all kinds of creative things to do these. So I was so excited to try it. I'm going to make some butter and I'll
I
let
can't
you
wait to hear
know.
how that goes.
I feel like it has to go well because I keep seeing it in all different places from different people trying it in different ways.
Yeah.
And I've seen the video and then written instructions. So
but anytime I try something like that, it doesn't turn out like I want it to. But I mean, it's bread and butter. So
I was going to say, how can you mess it up? It may not look as Pinteresty as you want it to, but it's going to taste good. It's going to be melted butter, melted butter all over. You can order them online at Amazon. You can probably get them in Hobby Lobby too, but I just order things online.
Me too. John said the other day, we need to get the Amazon driver a Christmas gift, but there's so many different
now.
Ones.
Yeah, but they're very inexpensive, and I've been wanting some wicks anyway because I want to try candle making. But the butter candle is where it's at, and I'm going to try that this week.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Alyssa's gotten into candle making. She showed me last week. She's making some candles. Yeah.
Is she using soy or beeswax or what?
I don't know. Soy, I think. She said she was being a little bit crunchy because some of the candles put out stuff that you don't really want in your air. So she likes candles. So she looked into making some, and this was before Darcy was born, but they smell really good. She ordered some kind of essential oils and got all the stuff. And that actually my idea of getting different containers to give gifts in was her idea for candle making. She went for her birthday. Jake took her to Goodwill to pick out some containers to make candles in, and she found some really neat things.
Yeah, you can put them in teacups. You can put them in those, tea tins, like Harney and Sons or certain companies. Tea comes. You can make candle. I mean, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's neat. I didn't know she was doing that.
Yeah, well, it's fairly new. All right.
That was
good
fun.
Discussion. What's
ho, 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 and Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Well, this will come out on, today is the 25th, so it'll come out on the 27th. So we'll still have almost a month before Christmas. So
it's the season.
Giving gifts. It is.
Is your tree up yet?
It's up, and maybe that's what he's doing is fluffing the branches because he that's his job. He put lights up today, which is also his job. I'll do everything else. I'll get the gifts and cooking and stuff like that, but he has to do the fluffing of the tree. Is your tree up?
No. And we last year we switched over to a live tree.
So you were talking about going to a tree farm today. Did y'all not do that?
No, there were too many other things going on, so we're going to try and do that next weekend.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I tend to not. Some people put it up way early and leave it way late, and I'm kind of like right after Thanksgiving and right after Christmas.
That's done. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. And John says I'm Scrooge when I want to take it down, but I want to get things clean and back to normal and back in a routine.
We don't do anything fast. Do you remember episodes ago? Was it Amazon Prime Days or something like that? And you had asked, did you order anything fun? So however long ago that was, I had ordered those Edison bulb outdoor lights that were solar powered. We literally just got those hung today.
On the deck?
We put them in the carport. We put them around the carport because it's so dark out there and we have all these visitors coming up, and I always feel bad when they're late. Once they leave the porch light, we have a motion sensor light on the other side of the carport between the porch and there, though. It's pretty dark.
Yeah, and most people come through your carport.
Yeah, they all come
in. Do you wish
they
would come through the front door?
Nah. I mean, sometimes I do because especially now we have a milking machine equipment there.
Yeah.
And we've been working in the yard, like everything lands there. And that box of solar lights has been right by that door ever since I ordered it in this little cart. So
it's like 6 months ago.
It's been months, yes. And they finally got hung today. So
well, I will tell you this before we finish. I did order my Christmas present and got it. And John put it up today. 2 things. Those hammock chairs, not the ones that I have that I swing in, that have a stand, but these are hanging from the deck. And they were like 60% off Black Friday. And I thought, I see what I want. And John will give this to me for Christmas. So he's done. He doesn't have to do anything now.
Nice.
But got one for him and one for me. And it makes me a little nervous to sit down in it because it's just hanging from this. It says it holds up to 500 pounds. So I should be good.
You should
be good until after Christmas, maybe.
That's
right. Anyway,
you could both sit in that one swinging chair.
I hope so until Christmas.
What's the other one?
Well, it was two of them.
Oh, I
got one for him and one for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that was fun. Good idea. I'm glad you had this idea.
Yeah. All right. Well, good to see you. I'm glad we got a chance to talk. And I hope you
glad you had a good Thanksgiving. I'm glad you had a good Thanksgiving.
Well, have you heard any screaming from downstairs because Georgia's playing?
Surprisingly, no. And usually that's what I love most about a Georgia game is watching Neil watch the Georgia game. Because he hoops and hollers and talks to the TV and paces back and forth. And
so maybe it's not going so well if you're not hearing any noises.
It must not be.
All right. Well, I will let you go and we will talk again next week. But I love you. And until next time,
keep looking up. Love you too.